As we all know, Roger Stone, of course, was indicted and arrested early Friday morning. He's expected to be arraigned tomorrow in Washington, D.C. Do you think Special Counsel Robert Mueller has treated Stone fairly?
Well, I think it was a Gestapo-like raid. I mean, I'm appalled to see all of these heavily armed FBI assaulting the house at pre-dawn raid. I mean, you know, Roger's 66 years old. He's really not a flight risk. He, I think, would have turned over everything that, you know, the FBI and special counselor wanted. He's not a drug lord. He's not a mass murderer. I mean, you know, it scares me. I mean, I would hate to see that happen to our family, and I've cooperated. I've handed over everything, and I don't think actually they're going to indict me. I think it's less and less likely.
Why do you say that?
But the whole idea, well, because in reading this, first of all, I've done nothing wrong, and I'm confident that the FBI and the special counselor knows that. Memory failures are not going to be able to convict me on the law, which is knowingly and intentionally giving them information I knew to be false, a material subject with the intent to deceive them. I did not do that. I went in with the intent to cooperate. I'm still cooperating, and they can't prove, because it's not true, that I did anything except have a bad memory over the detailed and granular and increasingly abusive way I was questioned.
Right, and you got to the, and you came to this conclusion about WikiLeaks through your own reporting, and that's, you remember, you talk about having this sort of premonition on the flight. You were on your way over to Italy. Now, Roger Stone says the charges against him are false, including that he lied during his Senate testimony last year. Do you think Stone, in fact, lied?
Well, I mean, Roger's going to have to deal with that in his own case. What I've said, and I've been misquoted on this, by the way, because, John, I was being interviewed by Jake Tapper over at CNN on Sunday. It was quite a good interview, and I said I was happy to testify in Roger's case. I was happy to testify because I was happy to have the ability to tell the truth. And now that the special counsel has mentioned me as person number one, it's clearly me, I think, and everything in that indictment is accurate and consistent with what I testified in my 40 hours of testimony, our voluntary testimony to the special counsel, and what I wrote in the book Silent No More, which shows you what that horrific experience I went through.
Jerry, I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to get to.
I can't see how I'm going to be chopped.
I know you don't want to get into war of words
please.
Between you and Roger Stone. But
no, I don't. But
he has called you a liar, though.
Well, I mean, let me say one more thing. I intend to tell the truth and continue to tell the truth. That's hard enough. I'm called to testify, I'll do that. I'm not calculating whose benefit or whose detriment that's to. But what I was quoted by the Daily Caller, by Political and others, is saying, I was happy to testify against Roger Stone. I did not say that. And my lawyers are now today calling for a retraction and apology. I demand, John, to be quoted accurately. And that was, I never said those words on Jake Tabor's show. You can listen to the interview.
And
I said
in other words, you're happy to cooperate. Your life is an open book now, and anything that you have, you're willing to give to Robert Mueller, whether it involves Roger Stone or anybody else.
Precisely.
Right. Right.
And Roger's going to have to deal with his own case. Now, I'm telling you that if Roger wants to continue with these lies and defamation, my attorneys are also looking into the lies and defamation that have been coming out of InfoWars, and we intend to take action on that this week. I'm tired of being defamed. I'm not going to put up with it anymore, just like I'm tired of being misquoted. I want to be dealt with respect, because I'm coming forward respectfully to tell the truth, and I want the American people to understand that.
Jerry, when you look back on your involvement in all this, and again, there's no evidence that you have done anything illegal yet, but do you wish you would have stayed away from this entire thing altogether?
Well, I don't see how I could have. I was doing my job as a reporter, and I was involved. I mean, Roger wanted me to go see Julian Assange, and clearly I was willing to send Ted Malloch if he wanted to go in London. But my editor and boss, Joseph Farah, equally said, why don't you go over and see Assange? And I said, send me an airplane ticket. Well, Joseph Farah never sent me an airplane ticket. I wrote my dissertation at Harvard in 1972 in political science on the Pentagon Papers case, which was amazing, 40 7 years ago, I had the foresight to do that. I mean, who knew at the time I was going to be center in my life, the whole U.S. New York Times v. U.S. case. I could have seen Assange if I wanted to. I could have published emails Assange had. Well, I didn't see any point to it, quite frankly, because Assange had given interviews, and he wasn't telling anybody what he had. But, John, what I don't understand is if Mueller is really serious, why he doesn't. Assange says, first of all, that the Russians weren't involved in stealing the emails. He says, secondly, that he never had any contact with Jerome Corsi about the 2016 election or the DNC emails that were stolen. He's also said he has never had a back channel to Roger Stone. If Robert Mueller's going to conduct an honest investigation, why don't we get testimony from Assange on those?
Well, there's still so many things.
Why are we assuming the Russians
we don't know about Robert Mueller's investigation? There's still so many things we don't know about Robert Mueller's investigation. If this is the beginning of the end?
Well,
is
John,
this the end of it? We don't know, and that's what we're waiting to find out, Jerry. And I know you are essentially involved
John,
in that.
Look,
go ahead. We got to wrap it up, but go ahead.
John, John, I can tell you, when I testified, I told the special prosecutor, for the extensive research I had done, I can prove, I believe, that the Russians did not steal those emails. Special prosecutor was not interested. And, you know, I said, why don't you bring Assange over here and get his testimony? They didn't want to talk about any of that. Now, I think that should be done. If they're planning to do it, great. But it should have been done right off, because that's the entire predicate of the investigation. If Russia didn't steal the emails, why are we all talking about Russian collusion? It couldn't have existed if Russia didn't, in fact, steal the emails.
Well, that's a question, and this investigation seems to raise more questions than answers we get these days, so we're all waiting for the final report. Jerry Corsi, thank you so much, sir. I look forward to talking to you again.
My pleasure, John. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more live breaking news coverage, exclusive interviews, and videos from Newsmax TV, click subscribe on our YouTube channel, and don't forget to download the free Newsmax TV app for alerts. Newsmax TV, it's real news for real people.